Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of DialogBOX, the show that definitely will not spoil Avengers Endgame on accident. Sorry,
better
John.
not. I'm watching it tomorrow.
We have to talk about it. We have to talk about every scene. I am Laughingboy LP, and tonight I am joined by three extremely lovely guests. I have Twitch streamer and content creator Proton _ John.
Hello, /_/ everyone.
We also have gaming production specialist for Direct Relief, as well as the executive director for Zeldathon, SuperMC.
Hello. I have a long title, and I keep forgetting. It keeps getting longer. Please make it stop.
And then finally, we have the gaming outreach specialist for Direct Relief, as well as the assistant director for Zeldathon, Kampy. Say hello.
Hello, hi.
The only Kampy I gave a direction to because, you know, he's new. So
I am very new to this.
So, I decided to bring you all together today. We have a very excellent topic to talk about. The Runaway Guys are doing the Colosseum, a charity marathon that benefits Direct Relief. Hopefully I said that right. I definitely don't know how to spell Colosseum, and I actually learned through writing the notes for this episode. But I wanted to basically have this discussion with you guys because sort of looking at and being a part of and watching all these charity marathons, I had a bunch of questions in my head about, well, how does one happen? How do you do that? How do you go from I want to do this to actually doing it? And what are a lot of the behind the scenes details that go on? And maybe if I have these questions, there might be a bunch of other people watching this that have questions too. And I think it's great to kind of leverage MC and Kampy, both your experiences with the different charity events that you guys have worked with, and then John as one of the brain trusts behind Colosseums as well, to kind of talk about the Colosseum itself and then what went into its creation. So first off, TRG Colosseum is starting May 3rd, and I believe that goes through May 6th on
Correct.
Proton John's Twitch channel.
Yep.
Assuming you can't make it live in person, they are streaming it.
I'd be concerned if anyone did.
Assuming you found the address and
Assuming you were
got
good
a
at
plane
stalking.
ticket.
Here are the
mean-
geo coordinates. See if you can figure it out.
Unless your name is Josh Jepson listening right now, please don't come. And the other people on the list.
Wasn't he already invited?
Yeah, he's there. He can come.
He's loud.
That's a hell of an uninvite.
On a podcast.
On a podcast that you don't even know when it's going up. It might not be in time.
I plan for this to go up the Monday after, so sorry, Josh.
You'll leave.
We had fun, Josh. You'll get to try it someday.
Yeah, one of these days. But first off, I wanted to talk about, what is the Colosseum itself. So first off, well, what is it? What is the Colosseum? John, if you could kind of take us back and describe to us what exactly this is.
All right, so I'm not quite sure the year. I think it's 130 BC, but in Rome they had this building where people got to. All right, so Colosseum was a idea that we kind of started a year and a half ago, I think, at this point. MC approached me. We were talking at TwitchCon 2017 about hey, we should do something the Runaway Guys related, and then later that year, I think closer to Christmas, he was like, hey, would you like to just straight up do a marathon? And I talked over everyone else, and they were gung-ho for it. So we started planning it over the next couple months. We got a bunch of our friends involved, and then it turned into, I think, about 15 of us just kind of crashing in this house and just doing a 3-day stream. It just kind of came out of nowhere. It was a surprise that they asked us in the first place, but it was really fun to do, honestly, which is why we're doing another one.
So where did the name of the Colosseum actually come from?
Now that one's on MC because technically this is like we're like the second pillar of like the Colosseum branding, I believe.
Yeah,
Mario Maker Colosseum came first, right?
Yeah. So we can build off that. I'll let Brooke go into like how Colosseum itself, like the very origins came about in a second. But at least for the name, I believe I don't know if it was me or Kampy that came up with it. We kind of built it together. But I remember when I was searching for the name, especially you're talking about how to spell it. I've learned how to spell it because apparently there's actually 2 valid spellings of Colosseum. I don't know, but we took the one from Pokemon Colosseum, and you'll notice the logo also holds some similarities, and that's a little purposeful because I don't know, it's cool. I remember how the name came about now, Kampy. It was because the first one we did, the other one that's not Runaway Guys, Mario Maker. Originally, we wanted it to be like a feud between. We wanted half the Colosseum to be on teams, and it'd be like a competitive event. But then we realized we couldn't really pull that off with the first one. We're like, we'll keep the name. It's a cool name. So, and then Runaway Guys just got dragged into the name.
Yeah.
By friendship.
The Runaway Guys presents SuperMC, Kampy's Mario Maker Colosseum, but not Mario Maker.
Correct.
Also, Josh isn't invited.
It's a long title. We've been trying to shrink it down for a while. We'll figure out something eventually.
Something a little smaller, easier to say.
We just need all of that information to be in there, and how do you condense that all into just 2 or 3 words?
There was a debate actually on. I don't know if it's a debate. It was kind of probably me and my brain more than anything, but we were talking very much in the planning of this. Like, is this the Runaway Guys Colosseum 2? But then when it came time to like, okay, well, we need a different logo for like thumbnails and stuff to make sure it's not the same event as last year. I wrote the number 2 and it looked really small and tiny, almost like an exponential. It was like the Runaway Guys Colosseum squared, and so I put 2019 down, and so that one worked out a little bit better, I guess. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a good idea. I hadn't even realized the logo had changed between the 2 years.
You haven't seen the new logo yet. It's only gonna be like on like thumbnails, I think, and stuff, and some broadcast stuff on screen.
Oh, I guess I need to see a doctor about this foot and mouth syndrome I have. But I guess to kind of go along with that, so MC and Kampy, I guess this question is more for you guys. So I guess with John saying that you guys went up to him and talked to him about this, what kind of sparked that idea then?
So I can kind of answer this. So I kind of took the idea from an event called Smash the Summit, and it's essentially bringing the top level like Smash players all into one house for a weekend, and they do a lot of little fun things, and then there's a kind of a major tournament with it, and then the person wins all the money. So I thought that concept was really cool, but why don't we bring communities together in one house and then try to raise money for charity instead of trying to raise money for like a prize pot. So it kind of started that way. I approached, for the first one it was Mario Maker, and I approached Grand Pooh Bear just to be like, hey, does this idea sound pretty cool? And I just pitched it there, met him for the first time, and then it worked out somehow. With Direct Relief, I was just like, hey, can you take a chance on me to do this event? And then worked out, and then MC was like, well, I have this sick idea. And then went to John and did it. So it really came off of just other events and kind of working, like we've done Zeldathon for years and things like that. But we wanted to make something that's based off of like existing communities of gamers and just bring them together to have a good time and raise money for charity. So
Kampy was like, all right, so we did the Mario Maker event with the top Mario players in the world. MC, what group should we do next? And I got really close to the microphone, which was weird because we were in person. And I said, have you ever heard of Let's Players? And boom, we're in. Of course, now it's more live streamers than Let's Players, but all the same. I've learned that once you're a Let's Player once, you're always a Let's Player a little bit, because you'll always narrate video games to some effect. It's just part of your DNA, I think.
It's a real bad nervous tick, basically. It really messes things up when I'm just like watching a movie and I just start talking about how I'm playing as the main character of the movie. It's real bad.
Yeah, it's really bad when I finally settle down at the end of the day with my girlfriend and I start playing games and I just turn to her and I look and I say,
welcome back,
what's
everybody.
up, YouTube?
Have you heard of Audible? Because I got a deal for you.
Speaking of really horribly placed commercials,
I thought you were going to say speaking of Audible.
Speaking of Audible, did you know that you can use LBLP 40 for 40% off your first... I'm sorry, nobody's actually sponsoring this crap. I'm sorry.
Dang, I was really,
into it too.
Yeah.
I was impressed you kept going. You had the code and everything.
Yeah. So, lost my train of thought. So basically, I think we've kind of covered that. We covered our bases here. We talked about, everyone knows what Colosseum is now. All right, we're all good. Right?
Yeah.
I
All right,
hope so.
thanks.
We're running one.
Tell me
and
about
one.
it again. I'm not sure.
I'm just waiting for somebody in the comments to be like, minute 13, no, you didn't cover it.
Now we gotta stop and go back and just re-explain everything.
Yeah,
Let's go back in time.
It's fine. We'll do another episode for next week. So somebody has an idea to have a charity gaming marathon, and they're just like, I want to do this. This sounds like a great idea. How the hell do I do this? Like, what would be the first step to going from I want to make a charity marathon to actually making that come to fruition?
Dang, just do it. I get real mad when people are like, I can't stream unless I have this microphone or this webcam. It's like, I can't do a charity stream unless I have my full schedule. And it's like, man, go live for 2 hours. You go to Tiltify, any other fundraising website, you make a campaign, you put the donate link on your page like you already do for your little PayPal bits and stuff. Boom, you're done. Tell people to click that button. It's like, obviously it's scalable infinitely from there, but you know, when I hear like I want to do a charity stream, I'm like, okay, why haven't you? Go. You know, obviously you can build up, but you know, let people just do it.
It's a lot easier than you'd think to start it. I think like the most important thing is choosing a cause like that resonates with you, that you can talk about, and then just honestly just do it. It's not as hard as one would think it is.
Yeah, it's become like super simplified over the years because of things like Tiltify. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, it does. I mean, as soon as you basically said that, I was actually kind of taken aback. I really didn't think it was that easy to set up.
I mean, back in the day, it was always a thing. Like I very much remember from the history of Zeldathon and stuff, where if we wanted to raise for a charity organization, we had to send the organization themselves an email and say, hey, what's your PayPal email address? We want to pour money into it. And some companies and nonprofits were taken aback by it. They didn't quite understand yet what gaming was. And so it was like, no. It's like, okay, first of all, we can't do anything bad with your email address. There's absolutely zero things. We're not going to hack into it. We don't have that information. It's just an email address. And two, we're saying we want to give you money, but some people didn't quite get it. But now it's much simpler here in 2019.
In the year of our Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, way back, I remember taking part in Extra Life, and I think that's like a really easy kind of, if you've never done it before, then this might be a great way to kind of get started. And that was a little simplistic, but I honestly didn't know that if you just wanted to go ahead and do it yourself, then that's actually like a real simplistic option to take.
Yeah, for sure. It really is easy.
Now, for John, you chose, so why did you choose to work with Direct Relief, and then how did you, I guess we kind of already discussed how you may have become involved with them, but sort of how did that relationship build up in terms of creating the Colosseum itself?
I mean, more or less, like, I already knew MC, because we had done a couple things before, like, we had talked at a previous TwitchCon, I think it was like a year or two before, and I talked with a couple people from Direct Relief, and they were like, hey, do you want to do like a charity stream for us? So I did like one on my own channel, and it turned out pretty good. So we ended up talking. Yeah, actually, MC invited me to join the Charity Plaza for Direct Relief for 2017, which was where we had to play Smash Brothers, an attempt to try to earn like ingredients to make food. So it was a team of two. It was myself and Tom Fox. I played Smash Brothers, and then Tom had to use the ingredient we won based on a ranking to make a sandwich and impress the judges. So that was where like the whole conversation about like, hey, maybe we should do something with the TRG in the future started. But really, like, it was just like we had a conversation, and they were like, do you want to do this? And we're like, yeah, sure. It kind of goes back to just kind of do it if you want to get into it. Like that's really what it boils down to.
It did start really whether it was Spark. It was just like, I mean, so me and Kampy approached you like before, like that initial stream you did. It was like right when we were getting involved with Direct Leaf. We were just like on our first contract with them, and we were talking like, hey, well, we want to raise this much money by the end of the year. Who are some good creators that we know that are people that might be interested? And I remember I brought up Proton John because I'm like, he's pretty cool. And so you did your stream, and I think do you remember what your first goal was? Was it 5,000?
It was 5,000 because I wasn't sure how much it was going to be. And the way I had it set up was that people would donate to basically pick what game I played next. And before I even got to start playing the first game, the goal was already beaten.
Damn.
So then I was like, all right, I guess I'll double it. And then I forget how far it took us to get into that, but we doubled it. And then we doubled it again. I think we ended with 20,000 or something like that.
And that was really great for Direct Relief because Direct Relief was new. I think we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth here in a second. But we're trying to like really show them like, okay, Zeldathon's cool because Zeldathon at that point had raised for them before, but we're trying to show them like how much can other gamers do. And so like here's Proton John. He said $5,000. He got you $20K. As a charity, that's very eye-opening, I think. And obviously from there is like how do we do more with people like Proton John? Specifically, how do we do more with Proton John? And so that got more involved into than the Runaway Guys stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just about trying to prove that there is not in like, but there is money that can be made through these kinds of events, or specifically through gaming and being able to kind of raise money that way. Like, there's value in that. So, for Kampy and MC, how did you guys get involved with Direct Relief in the first place? You mentioned before that this was sort of like mentioning Proton John was maybe one of the first couple of things you did there, but how did you get involved in the first place?
So with Direct Relief, like, it first started off with like us figuring out who we wanted to raise for Zeldathon, and we discovered Direct Relief through a Reddit thread. And then it kind of grew from there, where they flew us out to like check out the office, meet with everyone, and they wanted to thank us, and we kind of grew to talking and really enjoying everything that they do. Because when you go to it, like when you read about a charity, you're kind of like, okay, I see what they do. But when you actually go to their office and see like actually what they're doing and the people, you kind of fall in love. And MC and I really fell in love, I think 1 hour into like just being at Direct Relief, and we said we wanted to be more involved. And then 3 months later, we pitched a program called the gaming program, and they loved it. And it's essentially it. Like, we really just love working with Direct Relief and everything that they do.
Yeah, it's crazy because like we've raised for a lot of charities in the past, both with Zeldathon and other events we've just been involved with, things like GDQ, which we've gone to in the past, and obviously we care for all the charities that we raise for, but after discovering Direct Relief, we went out to their office, and everybody was so kind, and the work they do is amazing. We haven't really mentioned it before, but like they're a disaster relief charity, and what you don't really get to see when you read about it is like the warehouse that the Direct Relief office has, where they ship out all the medicines and supplies to people who need them. Like, when you walk into that big warehouse, at first, like, I mean, if you suspend your reality, it's like, yeah, it's just a warehouse. People are shipping things. It's like it's like an Amazon warehouse, but it's really not, because there's a sense of like good that you feel inside the warehouse, that that what's happening there is not somebody just shipping out like, oh, here's an HDMI cable to add to your pile of HDMI cables. Who would have a pile of HDMI cables? But they're shipping medicine. They're shipping things like every one of those boxes is going to do really something good. And that's where me and Kampy were just like, yeah, this feels right. It's a good charity, and maybe we can teach them the ropes of the gaming world along the way. And that really worked out, I think.
No, but I think it's really great to kind of hear a little bit more about what is going on behind the scenes with Direct Relief in terms of, I mean, what does it do, but sort of what made you guys interested in wanting to follow with them and create all these. I mean, simply just by being there for about an hour, you decided to create all these programs, and now we're kind of here with the Runaway Guys and Zeldathon and even ZU-thon with Zelda Universe.
Yeah, look, we've traveled to other charities before, and I travel still and talk to a lot of charities, but Direct Relief's the one that really gets to me. They're disaster relief, but the thing that really resonates with me is they send medicines to all 50 states, free healthcare clinics, and that really when I saw the map and it was just there's 4 clinics in your hometown, and just seeing the people that can't afford this are able to get free medicine, that really hit home with me, because that was just one of the greatest things to see. So that's why I still just love working with them.
Yeah, and it kind of opens your eyes too, because you can kind of see more of that effect and how that kind of not only just affects the people around you, but how that might even affect yourself too.
Yeah.
So moving on to sort of the ins and outs of, and this is a question both for Colosseum as well as Zeldathon, but in order to, I guess, incentivize the donation program, there are certain goals or different prizes or things that you can do during the gaming marathons that, again, incentivize the idea of obtaining the donations. But how did you guys decide on your donation incentives for both Zeldathon and Colosseum, and especially how did you figure out how to value them in a way that makes it an incentive?
Ron, do you want to start with this one? I think you can talk a lot about what we did at Colosseum and how we had to adapt through
the
it.
hell out of it. Hell yeah. No, we so basically we're all right, what would be really funny if we did during this segment? That's how half of our donation incentives boiled down. We're all right, we're gonna play Mario 64 and there's gonna be speedrunners playing, but what would happen if people could donate to force one of the better player to reset their game if they were winning too much? Or just things like that. Literally, it's just how can we make this as inconvenient as possible for the people that are actually running the marathon, basically. And just value is just all right, how much of a nuisance is this? All right, put it up higher. Or but don't put it. It's just really a problem of okay, this is gonna mess with the flow of the event a fair amount if it gets triggered, but we want it to get triggered. So you just kind of have to find a point where it's not too high that it will never get triggered, but it's high enough that it won't get triggered often. And then there's ones where all right, these are just funnier and easier to deal with. All right, now someone has to wear a blindfold or oven mitts while they're playing the game. Okay, that's a lower one. We can force everyone to do that one easily. So.
Well, and I think I feel some of the incentives that I saw during the first TRG Colosseum, sort of echoed a little bit what I had seen from Jepson's Versus series. They had that Versus panel at PAX East 2018. And I remember especially blindfolds, oven mitts, or character swapping or player swapping places with each other. Did any of that kind of come into play, or was it kind of just these are hilarious, let's just do that?
We already more or less had those written down before they did that panel, actually.
Yeah, no, it actually goes back to Mario Maker Colosseum, which happened before that one. We did the same thing, it was really fun. Kampy can attest, because we would take these top Mario speedrunners, say, all right, all you gotta do is beat World 1-1 or something. But good news, I've bought so many oven mitts in my life, way more than any human should. I got a new shipment of new oven mitts because oven mitts last year were too inconvenient. So I got some slightly more convenient oven mitts for this coming Colosseum.
Good.
Slightly more convenient oven mitts. That sounds like one of those things that you put on the back of a game box when you have nothing nice to say about it.
Slightly more convenient.
Yeah, slightly more convenient oven mitts, battery backup save, just whatever, the usual. How do you actually deal with the donations after the marathon ends? Especially with these larger charity drives, is there any paperwork involved?
No, and that's the beauty of Tiltify and systems like that, where it's just they handle all that. All we need to do is at the end, because they're already connected to the charities themselves, so it's literally going straight to the charity's PayPal. We just sites like Tiltify are just used as a tracker, so okay, this goes through the Proton John, the TRG community. This goes through the Zeldathon community, whatever. But it's all going to the same place. So sites like Tiltify do that work, so we don't have to.
And I mean, if you extend that to the charity end, yeah, it's pretty simple on their end because like people at our charity, like in our finance department, like it's pretty easy for them because it's all sorted. Like and it, just like John mentioned, it's flagged as this is part of the gaming program. This is from Proton John, and that's simple for them. There is a little bit more that goes on because this is going into like the actual Direct Relief donation database. You are making a donation to Direct Relief. You're still eligible to get your usual tax breaks and write-offs or whatever it is. So you
Right.
can you can like email to get a receipt if you need. So like any of that paperwork is really I think all there is. I don't know. Is that about right, Kampy?
Yeah, but Tiltify handles everything on their end, so you really don't have to. You don't even have to contact the charity if you don't want to. If you just want to raise with them and never want to speak to them, like you don't have to. You never have to contact them. It just makes it really, really easy for the after work. Because like usually after work on an event is like you have to make sure everything's fine and like everyone's happy. But here it's just the charity got the money immediately because all Tiltify does is sees the receipt that like okay, the money went through. Here you go. Like here's the notification. So it's really, really easy.
Although, if you do want to reach out to a charity, especially us here at Direct Relief, we're always willing to chat, make your event better.
I mean, it really does seem like this is made as simple as possible so that anybody could do this.
It really is. Like from when I joined Zeldathon, it was a lot harder to reach out to charities. There was no platform like Tiltify that just brings all the charities together. But now, here in the great year 2019, it's really easy just to choose what charity, raise, and just start. So,
Okay. I mean, that's fantastic. Furthermore, are there any like legal precautions that need to be known before setting this up? Or again, is it just sort of like simplistic in the way that everything's kind of already done for you?
whatever platform you use to broadcast your charity event, just follow the TOS. Like whatever, like so Twitch TOS, just follow that. That's most of the time. The charity is going to be on board with the TOS policy with like Twitch or YouTube and things like that. So just follow that. That's mainly it. And if you don't feel comfortable with like playing Grand Theft Auto or something like that, or like killing games, you don't have to do that, but just follow the TOS and you're set.
Yeah, like it's about like avoiding like things like food challenges or drinking challenges, like things that like are against the TOS, like that could endanger your health. Usually charities aren't about that. I guess one thing that we could mention though is if you're planning on doing any sort of prize giveaways, be cautious. Like there are plenty of people who do their little prize giveaways. They've never written a legal document in their life, and I was about to say that's fine. It's more like as long as nobody gets mad, you're fine, and nobody should get mad. But as somebody who's not a lawyer, it's still scary because as we've grown with our events, especially with Colosseum today, I was getting all the legal paperwork done for doing our prize giveaways inside a legal manner, and that's one thing you have to consider. So I mean, looking into that is something that if you want to get really serious into your prize giveaways. And the only other thing that isn't really legal but just very ethical, make sure you're using a service like Tiltify or using a charity's official PayPal account. Never collect donations like in your own PayPal account and say, I'll donate them after the stream. Or even things like, I'll donate my bits and subscriber revenue. It does get a little fishy with that. It's just making sure that it's transparent to the community, because if it's not coming directly to the charity and it's like from the person, it's not that person donating, it's you donating. So like you, the streamer, and it gets really legally dicey there. And as someone who's not a lawyer, I won't continue, but just forewarn, don't, just use a service like Tiltify. It's easier and legal.
Okay. So really it's just about if prizes are involved, something that like is a tangible thing that somebody can receive, and then making sure to actually use these resources that have been like given to us in order to actually make this simplified.
Yeah.
And I guess this is, still a question for everyone on the roundtable, but what do you guys believe was probably the most complex or difficult aspect of setting up the Colosseum?
Finding a date that 15 plus people are available at the same time.
Yep. Yeah.
How is that not simple?
We could barely
I
find
can
an
sense
hour
the
for a
sarcasm from here.
Did you not see how simple it was just to get 5 people in an online room together and talk?
No, because there's only 4 of us here.
You're right.
Easy as pie.
The other one was Josh Jepson, but he got kicked out. Just kidding.
Are we though? Are we, Josh?
The world may never know.
He's not even gonna listen to this. We're talking to invisible Josh.
Yeah, I'll give you guys the, I'll have it up by Friday. You can force him to watch it as a donation incentive.
I'm good with that.
And then afterwards, it's just a big thing on the screen that says "kindly leave."
So
We have one of the musicians play like the Charlie Brown Christmas music. He has to slowly walk out, looking down at the ground, and then like an Uber pulls up. It's just perfectly timed. He's just
no, it's just
this
Kampy
is
in his
getting,
car.
the
We
more
don't
I
need an
describe
Uber.
this, the more I want this to happen because it's just hilarious.
And like as the music intensifies, you can just see like a photoshopped picture of Josh with just a frowny face, just like kind of
And materialize on the
material.
Do I need to pre-make a Josh Jepson rest in peace like scene for the stream?
It has to play Lonely Man from The Incredible Hulk. It just goes all in.
And just like everyone else in the room is like kind of uncomfortable because they don't get the inside joke.
And they don't know what's going on. It's like, why is he leaving? But
Goodbye,
like
Josh.
Tyler's in the background. Is like, oh,
Yeah.
I knew this was gonna happen. Bye.
Yeah, no, Tyler.
Tyler's
It
the only one
literally-
who just like wasn't in on the joke, but is still completely okay with it.
Well, no, Tyler's just like sitting there going like, do I have to leave too because he's my ride? And then it just switches automatically from that to Tyler can stay, and it's just like confetti and just like happy music.
Confetti's dangerous. You want to talk about charity playing? Don't use confetti, because then essentially you have to vacuum it up. And if you're on stream, we at Zellathon, we've held an event like I think 4 or 5 times where it's called mute all the microphones while challenge cam is vacuum. And so we mute every microphone, switch to the other camera, and just watch someone vacuum up confetti. It's actually a pretty fun special event at our marathons.
It's actually the primo event at the marathon is just the guy going like, I fucking hate this.
No, they enjoy it very much. Choco, when he does it, he is into it.
Yeah.
So part 3, the epilogue. What did we learn here? So this kind of goes into some of the things that we've seen in the previous Colosseum and how that might shape into future ones. But one of the first things that I really wanted to know, as somebody that kind of like watched the stream on and off, I saw quite a few things about a man in a bathrobe and a lamp.
Yeah,
god.
that's
What a
an
god.
accurate summary of Colosseum.
So, what was that? Who is Lord Donator, and what was going on with that lamp?
I mean, we can't tell you his identity. It's a secret.
Very secret. It never happened last marathon. He never got
Yeah,
revealed.
never happened.
Never happened. Don't check the VOD.
Don't
Don't.
go.
It never happened. Please don't actually look at the evidence.
Don't look it up. The
But
lamp.
what-
The lamp, though. Like I woke up to this. Like I think I like left to go get food, and
You
then
did, yeah.
MC's like, "Hey, we're getting mad money," and I was like, "Huh?"
It was like somebody donated $100 because there was a lamp in the room, just like sitting there on a table for like the first like day, and then someone's like gave $100 like turn on the lamp. So we're like, aight, and so we turned on the lamp. Someone donates $100 random, turn it off.
And it just
And we're like,
it-
We
it
just
went from
leaned
there.
hard into it. It was just
Yeah.
what you do. It's like improv, but with money.
and that's what
Well-
a lot of this is. Hey, okay, is this about how to make a trade marathon? Adapt. You need to be adaptable. No matter how good your plans you think you have, your little schedule, there's going to become a point where you might need to throw it out the window because you realize, oh wow, this one thing that we didn't think would do anything has raised a lot of money. For example, having a lamp in your room. Don't be careful. You never know.
You never know anything.
You never know when you're gonna have a lamp in your room. Okay, well that's, and I assume that it evolved into some man, I don't know who it is, in
It
a
was
bathrobe.
heist. Yeah, it was a heist.
Was that at least that person's own bathrobe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
Lord
brought it with
Donator,
them.
that was his robe.
He also gave us a dib on screen. It was pretty good. He didn't dab, but he gave us a dib.
He gave us a dip. Is it weird that I have more questions now?
No, that's about what I'd expect.
See, that means you should tune into the Runaway Guys Colosseum beginning May 3rd, 2019.
Donate for him to change bathrobes.
Unfortunately, we are in a new venue, so will lamp return? Well, we're not at the same venue, and that wasn't our lamp, so to be continued.
Someone might have stole it. Who knows? We don't know anything.
I just kind of like how dead you sound. I don't know, man. I just
sometimes we might have committed a crime. We're gonna get caught.
Sometimes there's a lamp.
I work for a charity, so I can't say it's missing in action. All I know is we paid the bill and got out of there.
Well, see Chugga Conroy, like after the event, he messaged me privately. I don't know if you know this, John. He was like, "Can you contact the owners of the house? Tell them that I'll pay any price for the lamp."
He told me to do it first. I'm like, I don't know who had that house. Message MC.
Yeah, and then I was like, maybe, and I didn't because I thought it would be a really. I was like, there's a lot of things I'd do for a charity event. Sending a random email to this lovely, nice couple who we rented their house. It'd be like, can we buy your lamp? I don't know. There's something weird about that. I was like,
I don't know, man. I would have done it, man. I would like, just no fear. Just like, hi, this is a strange question, but we had a great time at your event, and we were really enamored with this lamp.
Well, it was like 2 months afterwards, actually. It was
we
like
had
2
a really
months
great
afterwards.
time
Imagine
with this
2 months
lamp.
after, we're like just thinking about someone else's lamp.
I didn't want to tell you this, but I keep thinking about this lamp when I'm out. I keep having dreams.
They would probably throw it out immediately if we asked that.
Yeah,
They'd be like, get out of here.
They'd be like, it would look great on my bookshelf. Can you please?
Cursed.
Every time somebody turns on the light, I'm just like, not good enough. Not good enough.
I stare into the bulb, and as my retinas burn, I'm like, lamp wouldn't have done this.
Hey, do you remember that one scene from Anchorman? Anyway, I really fucking need your lamp. So when you guys originally planned out this Colosseum, was there like a grand design that you had planned out in your head about how things would go? And do you feel like you've been able to kind of make good on those ideas? Or in the case of lamp, did you just have to wing it?
All kinda. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we were like,
Tight,
all right,
let's move on.
Pretty much, like we made a goal and then we broke it. And we're like halfway through, so we're like, all right, let's see if we can set another one and break that. But then we were also like, some of our segments were missing things, so we were like, uh-oh.
Remember like, when Wheel of Fortune didn't start for half an hour, and then we just were like, all right, we got Wheel of Fortune Jr. that was what we had.
Like we literally winged that because I was like, all right, well, no one has the game. Can we go to a store and get it? No store's gonna have that. Oh, the children's version. I'm on it. Let's go.
I'm on it. Like you guys had Wheel of Fortune Jr. just on hand.
Do you not?
We're always ready. Everyone,
except for regular Wheel of Fortune, we're not ready for that.
No, like we're not ready for that ever. Who's ready for that?
We haven't graduated Wheel of Fortune Senior yet.
I mean, if y'all are in town, I got plenty of Wheel of Fortune for some stupid fucking reason.
I mean, what can we say about the event? Like, I think like we had a lot of instances of like we were really behind schedule. Like, I mean, we're always going to be behind schedule probably. I mean, I played enough events and maybe I'm just cursed, but getting behind schedule is an inevitability. However, we have learned from that, I think. Like, this coming marathon, this Colosseum, we have, one, built-in breaks that are like, this is an hour-long block that we're going to play this game, but if we're behind, it's going to be shortened and we're going to start the next game on time no matter what. And so they're short games, like, I believe GoldenEye is one of them. So, like, you know, GoldenEye matches, they're quick, they're easy. So if we can do 2 or 3 of them, move on. Or if we can fill the full hour, whichever, you know, is happy. But also we're doing the music this time around, because one issue we had, John, and you expressed to me a lot was, you know, we need time to eat. We're very tired, and the eating breaks weren't long enough.
Eating is a donation incentive.
Exactly.
I mean, we ate plenty of sandwiches on screen. You guys did, didn't you?
Yeah, a bunch of us were just like, screw it, I don't care if I'm eating on camera. And I'm super paranoid about that, so I'm like, nope, not doing it. So like I'm sitting in the corner watching everyone else sit in the room, just like chomp on sandwiches and just stare at the camera and not care. I'm like, you're all nuts.
And so we found a solution to this, and is this your idea, John, or?
I want to say this was a meals. Actually.
Yeah, it was a meals.
Yeah. And that's where we are going to have the music concerts. We had music last time, but this time we're making it more of a focus. We have more musicians coming out, and so we're having a set concert that's like 2-hour block of music at 8 p.m. every night of Colosseum. And so that's 2 hours for everybody to pretty much go eat food, enjoy the music, kind of reset for the final event of the night, because usually we have one more after that. So one more big, everybody, all hands on deck event of the night. Then it's our bonus stream / sleep section.
Bonus stream / sleep. Got it.
Sometimes we want to go more. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah, no, MC and I are usually the ones that kill off like the enthusiasm of keep going, because we're like, we need to be up at early, and it's already 2 a.m. So we gotta go to bed, guys. Sorry.
All right.
Also, we've been running tech for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Please, this computer's way more hot over here than it is over there. I know it's pretty hot already in this room.
Yeah, when you hear the fan just doing its death wail, I think it's time to turn it off. Did you guys learn anything from the first... That sounded like really condescending. I just want to say... Did you guys learn anything from last year? Like, come on.
Not even remotely.
We're still making the same mistakes. So on direct relief side, MC and I, we can run these by ourselves, like him and I, but it's a real big stress on us because, especially with the last Colosseum event, not the Runaway Guys, but the last one we did, it was only essentially me and MC running it, and I had to drive like 9 hours every day to go pick up stuff, pick up people, and run around. So now we're actually having more assisted help on site with us, which is very nice. It's not a 2-man operation. So that's something we very much learned quickly after running like TRG and stuff like that. So that's what I've learned.
I mean, yeah, it helped because last TRG Coliseum, our good friend Abra came over and he ran tech for a while, and he was great because I'd walk over to him and be like, "Hey, do you need me to take over?" And I'd have like a sandwich in my hand. He was like, "Nah, go eat your sandwich." And I was like, "You're awesome." And then we learned, I think, from that.
We learned. John, is there anything that you learned from last year?
I learned who I can and can't trust with certain segments. That was an important thing. I'm like, looking at the schedule this year, I'm like, all right, that'll be fine, that'll be fine, that'll be fine. I'm going to hassle that person. That's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, we have our packing
you learn
list.
you learn when you're doing a production, like, all right, I can trust this person. I know this person's going to need help with some things, but they'll be fine. And this person, we're going to have the hound. I'm for one of the events we're doing, I had everyone chip in some like info, and there's been 2 people I've had to hound like every day for 5 days now. So
I've been seeing your @ messages inside the Discord, and I'm just like, oh. Every
Do
day
not
feels
make-
like John's getting
don't-
closer to his screen. I feel like you're like slowly like coming out of their Discord on the other side of the computer monitor.
If I could do that, oh man.
It's just your one pointer finger.
I sent you.
Yeah. Got that thing I sent you.
You got that thing I sent you? I think that's all the questions I have. So I think that pretty much has covered everything. I'm actually quite surprised about how not complex this actually is. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from me. I honestly wrote all this and I'm like, this can't be enough. This can't be enough questions. Like, I'm going to look so stupid. But honestly, it's really relieving to know that really, if you just kind of want to start doing this, like, just do it. And there are a lot of options, or very simple options out there for you.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to say, you can always expand as more as you want. Like, it's easy to get started, but it's infinitely expandable. It's okay. Don't hate me for this analogy, but it's like a fighting game where like the base entry is really low. Just smash buttons. Maybe you'll get somebody. Maybe you'll get some donations. But if you get complex, you learn your tech skill. You learn your scheduling and your productions. Like you build it up. You learn how to do incentivize better. All of a sudden, boom! You're at Evo in the World Charity Fight. Okay.
This guy over here.
Damn, I didn't realize we were gonna have a tournament suddenly.
Welcome to the Charity Marathon Tournament. Charity's not a competition.
If you need help ever,
you're
you can
not
always
trying
reach
hard
out.
enough, I think. Takeaway.
You could always reach out to the charities, like with Direct Relief. You reach out to the Twitter. You can reach out to me on Twitter and everything like that. We can get you pointed in the right direction. I know every charity that we've worked with, MC, like, has a pretty much easy way of getting like all the assets and stuff you need to like for pictures, images, video, like everything like that for like just to enhance your broadcast. So if you want to make it better, just reach out to the charity because they're be able to help you out immensely.
All right, excellent. Well, again, thank you guys for taking the time to sort of discuss all this with me. I really appreciate just all the time and information you guys have provided. And that pretty much will wrap it up for this episode. And I'm bad at outros still. I never figured out. I did so well
Thanks
on
for
the
watching.
intro.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Bop
Yeah.
that
5
subscribe
stars.
button.
Thank you for doing my job for me. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.